Attention bowlers, we are going to get started. Please finish your warm-up frames. We'll be changing the scoring in just a moment. Welcome to Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts for a doubleheader Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour match today. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Kelly. We're here in the Red Room at Academy Lanes, and it's going to be 2 matches for the price of 1. 2 matches is the key word today. Bowlers are getting going here. Andy Klempa starts out with an 8 drop, and that will be a 10 for Greg Vellante. Here we go. Anyways, yes, I'm Steve Kelly here to tell you the story of this match. Sorry, the bowlers got a step ahead of me when they began their journey today. So again, it'll be 2 matches for the price of 1. The bowlers will rotate every 5 boxes. We have Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante first, and then we'll have Mark Welch and Scott Bradish waiting in the wings. 5 drop for Klempa, or a 6 drop for Klempa, and a 5 drop for Vellante. Vellante misses a spare. He's got the 2 and the 4. Klempa with a 6-7 leave. It goes into the void down the center. It's a 10 for Greg Vellante, cleaning it up quite nicely for 20 through 2. Andy Klempa with an 8 box for 17 through 2. One moment. I do have a correction. I figured I'd just get it out of the way real quick. It's Scott Bradish, not Bradish. So forgive me in the intro, but just took me a second just to find Scott and just confirm with him. That's the first time I'm streaming Scott this season. And Greg Vellante with, will it be a late falling strike? Not quite. He'll take 9 down, but Andy Klempa will start off with a strike. Very well done by Andy Klempa. We'll see if we can sneak in a replay in just a moment here. And that will be a spare for Mr. Vellante as well. Actually, it's 2 marks, so we'll keep it fair and not show the replay. So we're at the busy Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts today. Heck of a busy house. It's a rainy weekend, a rainy holiday weekend, so it is one heck of a busy place to be at Academy Lanes. 5 drop and a 5 fill for Greg Vellante. Andy Klempa will start off with a 4 fill on his strike. Vellante almost converts for the spare, but he doesn't. He leaves the 7. Andy's completing a strike fill. It'll be a 9 on the strike for 36. And 35 through 3 for Greg Vellante. And Greg Vellante keeping it perfect with another 10 box for 45 through 4. Andy Klempa, bouncy ball, misses a little bit off to the left. It'll be a 9 for 45 through 4. Both bowlers even at 45. So in one more box, Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante will sit, and then it will be Scott Bradish and Mark Welch. Mark Welch, the away bowler, coming down from Maine, and Scott Bradish, the home bowler at Haverhill. 6 drop for Greg Vellante, missed the head pin. Andy Klempa finds the head pin and splits 7. Greg Vellante will leave the 9 pin, no mark. Andy gets stuffed by the wood. Greg is going for the 4 for a 10 box. He'll miss it for a 9. 54 through 5. Andy Klempa with a 9, also 54 through 5. That makes my job pretty easy. Both of our bowlers in the first matchup today, Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante, are at 54 through 5. And now it's time for our second matchup of the day. The first 5 boxes from Mark Welch and Scott Bradish. 6 drop for Bradish. Turns into a leave of the 4 and the 7. I'll fix the display in just a moment when I have a second. Mark Welch starts off with a 6 drop and misses his mark as well. Bradish to clean up for the 10. He's got it. It's a 7 for Welch and 10 for Bradish. Bradish leaving 8, or knocks down 8, splits 8. 6 drop for Welch. 2-4 leave for Bradish. He'll steal the spare. Bradish, 20 in a bonus through 2. And Mark Welch, similar story. So 2 marks apiece. It's a 7 fill for Bradish and a 6 fill for Welch. Both are splits. Bradish leaves 1 pin. Welch for his. He will leave 1 as well. Both bowlers getting robbed on their second marks. Bradish will take a 9, 36 through 3. Welch will take a 9, 32 through 3. Scores are confirmed. Here we go. Scott Bradish will start with a 6 split, a banana split, 4, 6, 7, 10. Mark Welch, head pin as well. Takes 7 down, a 3 triangle. Bradish takes 2 on the left, leaves 1 on the right. And Welch is on the object target. Almost stands and looks almost directly at me like, are you kidding me? And yeah, I don't blame you. The triangle is tough to take. Welch will take an 8. 40 through 4 for Welch and 46 through 4 for Bradish. Scott Bradish, first time on my program, Class C North Division 3, season record 107-103, 15 matches played. He begins on the pocket, drops 7, splits 7, 5, 7, 10. Welch takes 4 down. It's a washout, 4 on the right and 2 on the left. Bradish on the 5, 2 direct. Welch takes a few more out, no mark. Bradish takes an 8. 54 through 5. Welch with an 8, 48 through 5. So we have a lot of 54s and 148. 54 love for Klempa Vellante. Welch Bradish, 48, 54 respectively. And when we come back, it's going to be Greg Vellante and Andy Klempa coming up next to finish the first game here in Haverhill, Massachusetts on the ACST. Klempa opens with a 6 drop. Vellante opens with a late falling 9-10 split. Klempa misses the target pin, no spare. Greg takes a spare on the wood, carefully solves the puzzle. Andy Klempa makes up for his miss of a spare with a 9-box. Is Greg Vellante spare in case you missed it. High on the wood. Vellante 5-drop. Klempa 5-drop. Spare 5 for Vellante. 69 through 6. They have switched orders. Vellante misses his mark. Klempa misses his mark. Klempa leaves the 10 for a 9. 72 through 7. Vellante leaves the 1 and the 2 for an 8-box for 77 through 7. All the scores are up to date. My scoreboard's unofficial. I'm following the off-screen scoreboard from their automatic score system. But everything is completely synced up as of right now. Here's Klempa. Takes 6 down, splits 3 right, 1 left. Vellante takes 3 out, half Worcester plus a friend. Klempa for his mark attempt on the object, too much on the object. Vellante, meanwhile, in the 1-3 pocket. Ooh, come on. If the 6-pin falls into the 10 or makes the wood roll into the 10, it'll be pretty, but it doesn't quite do it. That was hypnotizing to watch. Andy will sail into the right channel. Greg is waiting for wood to settle. It's just taking a little while. So Andy's got a 7. 79 through 8. Greg is looking at 86 or 87 through 8. And Greg will go into the channel. That's no good. That's a 9-box for 86 through 8. Two boxes to go. We're moving right along in this doubleheader today at Academy Lanes. Andy Klempa, Greg Vellante, Mark Welch, Scott Bradish. Again, my apologies on the mispronunciation at the start of the match. First time I'm meeting Scott Bradish today. Andy Klempa off to the right, off to the left. 3 go down. Greg Vellante will take down a few. He'll take down 6. He's got 2 in the middle and 2 on the left. Klempa misses the object, leaves the 4 horsemen on the right side. The 1-3, 6-10. It's the 1-3, 4-7 for Greg Vellante. He is shooting for a spare. What'll it be? Misses the object, takes the 7 by proxy of the wood. Klempa makes it a 9-box. 88 through 9. He has 1 mark this game. And Greg Vellante is looking to take the 3 into the 1, but it looks like neither will go. I think it's going to be an 8-box as he gives up on it. That's a 94 through 9 for Greg Vellante. And Klempa finds the pocket, drops 8, 5-9. And Vellante, he finds the pocket. He takes down 7. He's got the 3 triangle. Klempa clocks in with a spare. Easy does it on that one. And so does Greg Vellante. We're going into overtime in the first game for our two bowlers. 98 in a bonus for Andy Klempa, 104 in a bonus for Greg Vellante. So Andy Klempa's working on one ball for a spare fill. Finds the pocket. It'll be 7, 111 Andy Klempa. Greg Vellante, he finds the pocket as well, and he will take a 6 fill for 104. Andy Klempa takes the first game against Greg Vellante. 111 Greg Vellante, 104 Andy Klempa. Those scores, 110, 105. Okay, I will double check that in a moment. It looks like it's 110, 105, so double check the automatic score system. Bear with me a moment while I switch the bowlers over. Splits for both, 7 drops for both. Greg had a spare 6. Bear with me just a moment. I didn't have those numbers. You got to check your fills. Oh. Bear with me just a moment. There's a couple of questions the bowlers are asking about their own scores, so I'm trying to help them out with that. I'm trying to catch up with the current matchup. Again, the bowlers are responsible for their own scoring, so it's one of those situations. Be a 10 for... Mark Welch, I think, has a 9, and Scott Bradish will have a 10. The 1 drop for Mark Welch. Scott Bradish will take 3 off the left side. So Andy Klempa has a 105 down there, so I will correct that to match his. It's a 110 for Greg Vellante. I will correct that to match what they have down there. Again, the bowlers are responsible for their own scores. If I had it right before, unfortunately, the bowlers will overrule it if that is what they have, and I'm just going to follow them. So have both versions up on here just to get those in. 8 for Welch, 7 for Bradish. Let me make sure I'm caught up with them. Mark Welch, I believe, has 72. Scott Bradish should have... They are correcting it as we speak. 4 drop for Welch. Bradish drops 6. Both bowlers missing their marks. Nine for Bradish, 5 for Welch. Welch is at 76 through 9. Scott Bradish is at 89 through 9. Okay, we are caught up now. Ooh. Yikes. I think Mark Welch will cross over the foul line, take a bit of a dip. And Bradish will chop 2 out on the left side, a half Worcester. And Welch on the second ball will take 6 down. Second ball, 5 go down for Bradish. 7 for Welch and 7 for Bradish. Okay, I think we are caught up. Emphasis on think. Looks like they scored a 9 for Welch. It's been corrected. 83-96 is confirmed, and 105-110 is what is down there. Okay, we are in sync with what the bowlers have. So it's 2 points for Mr. Greg Vellante and 2 points for Scott Bradish in the first game. Long story short. All right, I think we are back. We're going to be moving on to game 2 here in just a moment. It's going to be Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante here up next. Greg Vellante will begin game 2. Seven drop and a split for Greg Vellante, followed by a one shot. No mark. Andy Klempa dropped 3 on the first ball. Misses the object to the right, leaves the 1-2-10. Greg Vellante will take an 8 in the first. It's Andy Klempa on the 1-2-10. And he takes him out for a 10 box. This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. It's a 3 drop for Greg Vellante. And a 6 drop for Andy Klempa. 1-2-4-9 for Andy. 1 diamond, 3 triangle for Greg Vellante. And Andy, there's the mark. Well done. 6 drop for Greg Vellante, misses it for a 6 box. Here's Andy Klempa on that 1-2-4-9 shot again in case you missed it. Greg Vellante to the right of the head pin, takes 6 down, 1-2-4-10. Klempa's filling a spare to the right. Misses the head pin, but takes down 7. 27-7 now. Greg on the 1-2 pocket. Misses it. But Andy Klempa with a double spare, well done. We'll show that again in just a moment. 37 and a bonus. Greg Vellante, 4-10, makes it an 8-22 through 3. Here's that shot by Andy Klempa once again. Greg takes 7 down. Andy takes more than 7 down. He takes 9 down. Fills the spare with 9. Greg on the 6, only the 6. Andy with a triple spare, a hat trick. Greg will take a 9 for 31 through 4, and Andy Klempa is at 56 through 4 plus a bonus. Andy Klempa figuring out the marks. Greg goes to the right of the head pin, mixes down 8. Andy misses the head pin. 4 fill. Greg's on the 1-7 for a spare. And he takes that spare. Nicely executed by Vellante. He'll have a nice spare to come back to in the second half. And he chops one. The mark train ends here. Let's see if he can keep it a perfect half, though. 3 spares and a 10. And he makes it an 8 box for 68 through 5. 41 and a bonus through 5 for Greg Vellante. Andy Klempa's at a 1.5 gain total of 173. Greg Vellante's at a 1.5 gain total of 151 with that in progress 41 half. And Klempa at a 68 half. Mark Welch comes back to us in the 83 first game and a 96 first game for Scott Bradish. It's a 7 drop for Scott Bradish. 1, 2, 10. Mark Welch with a 3 drop spread eagle split, and that's a spare for Scott Bradish. Welcome to the Mark Party. Speaking of Mark Party, here's Mark throwing a party down the center. 2 nicely sent center balls from Mark Welch. Oh, please don't do it a third time. Oh, he'll just barely, he'll take an unfortunate 4 box. Triple strike in a different universe, unfortunately. Oh, can't. Here we go. Is a 5 fill for Scott Bradish, wasting no time. Takes 5 down, 15 through 1. Mark Welch finds the head pin, takes 8 down. He's got the 4 and the 10. Bradish, double spare. All over that horseman and a sleeper. Welch. Oh, he takes the pin on the right and leaves the pin on the left despite aiming for the pin on the left. And that will be a 9 for Welch. Let's see if we can get this replay in. Scott Bradish is a fast bowler. He doesn't like to wait, so we'll see if we can get this in. Look at that. Beautiful. And here's the follow-up. He'll take 3 on that spare fill. Mark Welch on the pocket. Takes 6 down. 3 triangle. Bradish. He takes a few in the middle. One of those situations where pins in the middle row don't go down. And wow, look at that spare. That was a cool spare by Mark Welch. Let's see if we get this. Watch this. Nudges the wood and takes the, wow. That was cool. That was a cool spare by Mark Welch. 23 and a bonus through 3. Scott Bradish, 37 through 3. Starting frame 4 of the second game. Bradish. Missed the head pin. Takes 8. And 3 go down for Mark Welch on the spare fill. Head pin is left for Scott Bradish on the spare shot. 2 get chopped out for Mark Welch. Bradish takes a 10. That puts him at 47 through 4. Mark Welch on the center diamond leaves the 7 for a 9. 35 through 4. And then he's up against Scott Bradish. That lane is finally resetting now. Scott Bradish has a record of 107, 103. Like I said before, he has a division rank of 3rd place, wild card seed 3rd place. Past 5 matches, he's taken 47 points, averaging 9.4 points per match. Here's Scott Bradish, and we're back. Takes 5 down. Kaliri right side. Mark Welch on the 1-3 pocket. He'll take 7 down. Bradish will take another down, leaving the 4 horsemen on the right side. It's the 4-7-10 leave for Mark Welch for a spare. Let's see if he takes it. Plays some wood. Takes all but the 7. It'll be an 8 for Bradish in the 5th for 55. Welch will make it a 9 for a 44. Those scores are confirmed. 44 Welch, 55 Bradish, 68 Klempa, 41 and a bonus Vellante. It's 1.5 games in, 127 for Welch, 151 for Bradish, excuse me. Still getting used to pronouncing Scott's last name. Andy Klempa opens with a 7-drop on the head pin. Vellante's working on a mark. Finds the pocket. There we go. There's a strike for Greg Vellante. Klempa on a 7-drop spare. Misses the object pin, leaves the object pin. It's a 9 for Klempa, 66 through 7. Or excuse me, 77 through 7 for Klempa, 61 through 6 for Greg Vellante. Here's that strike again by Greg Vellante in case you missed it. Andy. 8 go down, and it's the rare case of a split despite missing the head pin. Greg Vellante for the double strike. He's got a double on the board. Andy with the spare. Nicely done for both bowlers. It's 87 and a bonus through 7 for Andy Klempa, and 81 and a bonus through 7 for Greg Vellante. He's on a double strike fill. Andy first. Takes down 7. Missed the head pin. First ball completes the double strike fill for Greg Vellante. That's the rules of the double strike fill. He'll miss the pocket to the right. He'll take 5 on the double strike fill. A big 25. Klempa takes a spare, a nice easy pickup. And that'll be a 6 fill on the single strike for Greg Vellante. That puts him at 92 through 7. Andy Klempa 104 through 8. It's a 6, 98 through 8 for Greg Vellante. On the 1-2-4, Andy Klempa took a spare. That's very well done. He throws a very hard ball, and he's a lefty. Look at that. On the outside of the head pin even. Andy. Head pin. Split a 5. Fill a 5. Greg. It's a 4 fill. I mean, just a 4 drop, excuse me. It's been a lot of fills lately. You're telling me it's not a fill? Oh, Andy almost converts the almost spread eagle for a spare. He leaves the 4. And Greg nudges down the head pin, takes 3 out, leaves 3. 6, 7, 9. Andy, I think that's going to be a fouled 9 box. We'll hold for that call. It's a 9 for Vellante. Just holding on the score correction. I think it's correct. Oh, he was fixing Greg's. I see it. Okay. 107, 118, that is confirmed. That's funny. Andy's was correct, and Greg's was the one that needed fixing. That's what tripped me up a bit there. But yes, we are in sync. These scores are correct. 118 through 9 for Andy Klempa, 107 through 9 for Greg Vellante. Andy Klempa, final first ball of this game. He drops 5. 4 left, 1 right. 4 horsemen left side in the 10. Greg Vellante now. He threw 3 marks in a row. He finds the head pin here. He drops 8, 6-10. Klempa misses all, or takes all but the head pin. Missed the head pin. Greg tails off to the right. Klempa will make it a 10 box for 128 for game 2. There'll be a 9 for Greg Vellante for 116, I believe. Just waiting on the score updates. Both bowlers need a correction down there. 116 is in for Greg Vellante. 128 is in for Andy Klempa. Okay, we are good in the second game. .233 Andy Klempa, 226 Greg Vellante. Now back to Mark Welch and Scott Bradish here on the ACST in Haverhill, Massachusetts at Academy Lanes. One drop for Welch. 6 drop for Bradish. As Bradish tails off to the right. Welch tails off to the right. Bradish tails off to the left. No mark for either bowler. Welch on your right, Bradish on your left. The delayed 9 box for Mark Welch and an 8 box for Scott Bradish. .53-6 for Mark Welch and 63-6 for Scott Bradish. Welch finds the pocket. He nudges down 6. He's got, or 7. 6, 9, 10. Bradish finds the pocket. He drops 9. He leaves the kingpin. Welch on the 6 and the 10. The 9 is untouched. That's a spare for Bradish on the single on wood. Well done. And it's a cleanup of a 10 box for Mark Welch. Here's Scott Bradish's mark. Welch will mix down 6. Bradish on a spare fill. 2. Half Worcester left side. And Welch will take a pretty spare. We'll show you that replay in just a moment. Bradish misses his spare. He's going for a 6 box. 81-8. Here's Mark Welch's spare again on the 1, 3, 7, 10. Beautifully executed ball on the outside of the head pin. Welch on that spare fill. Just slightly west of the head pin, but he got a good mix of 7. Looks like the ball return is not dispensing bowling balls for Scott Bradish, so we'll take a brief wait time for that. So more about Scott Bradish, and his longest streak of strings over 100 has been 7 consecutive this season. His longest streak of matches more than 500, and grand total pinfall has been 9 consecutive this season. Longest winning streak where he's gone more than 7 points in a match has been 4 in a row this season. And then meanwhile, Mark Welch, his opponent, the away bowler from Maine, bowls out of Portsmouth, bowl around in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. On the road, he's 15-55. Home, he's 46-52. His longest streak of strings where he's gone over 100 has been 6 consecutive. His longest streak of matches where he's gone more than 500 in grand total pinfall has been 3 consecutive. And his longest winning streak where he's gone more than 7 points in a match has been 2 consecutive this match. And we are, again, just waiting on the ball return issue to be fixed. Have Someone going down there now. And this room was really packed when we began. These were the lanes we were given, and it's great to see a house that is, you know, very much loaded with people and has great business, because definitely need it in the bowling world, I'll tell you that. Mark Welch for the spare. He misses the object to the left. Bradish has the 210. He's shooting for a spare. And he misses it. No mark for either bowler. Mark Welch is going for an 8, 9, or 10 box. It's an 8. Bradish will take a 9. That's 88 through 9 for Welch and 90 through 9 for Bradish. And those scores are confirmed. We'll start with Mark Welch with a strike. Pull the ripcord. Bradish will mix down a few. 4 to be exact. 6-pack right side. And he spares that as well. Both bowlers will be going into overtime here at the end of the second. 98 in a bonus for Welch, 100 in a bonus for Bradish, so it's close. Mark Welch has 2 bonus fill balls. Bradish just has 1. Welch finds the pocket. So far, 6 on the fill. Bradish 8 on the fill for 108. Welch 6 so far. Makes it a 7. 105 game 2 for Mark Welch and 108 game 2 for Scott Bradish, as Scott Bradish takes 4 points in the second game. Or after the second game, that is. 188 for Mark Welch, 204 for Scott Bradish, 233 Andy Klempa, 226 for Greg Vellante. Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante have 2 points apiece. Scott Bradish currently has all the points against Mark Welch. And we have come back to game 3 of 5. Andy Klempa on your left in the blue, and Greg Vellante in the dark navy blue on your right. Greg Vellante begins with 7. Klempa, 1-3 pocket. Takes 8 down, 7-10. Vellante with a spare, nice way to start the game. Klempa on the 7-10, make it, I was gonna say make it pretty, and I thought it had a chance, but the messenger slides in front of the 10. It's a 10 for Andy. 10 through 1 for both, but Greg Vellante is on a mark fill. Oh, Andy's got a pin in the gutter. Just going to clear it. Hopefully it sails right back. Yes, it does. There's an art to clearing the gutter without knocking a pin into the lane, or, you know, into the main deck area. Vellante on a mark. 4 go down. 4 fill. 14 through 1. And Klempa takes 5 down. It's a split with no head pin. Vellante into the void. Klempa looking to spare up that mess. He leaves a sleeper pin in the back, the 8. Vellante will take a 6 box. That's 20 through 2. It's a 9 for Klempa, 19 through 2. So Andy Klempa has a record of 125 and 85. So Andy Klempa has a unique challenge that he's taken on in the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour this season. He is substituting in Class C North, and he's also bowling at a Class D North. So it's a bit of a unique situation. Today is a D North match for him. In that class, he's 125 and 85. Currently first in his division there, third place in the class seedings. In his past 5 matches, he's taken 49 points, averaging 9.8 points per match. And I think a pin just came out of the ball return. That was something. I wish I was paying more attention to that and had the camera on that, but I'll have to double check with the bowlers after, but I think a pin came out of the ball return. That was something. So we're, again, just pausing again just to see if something's going on mechanically back there. So Andy Klempa, his longest streak of strings where he's gone more than 100, 6 consecutive. Longest streak of matches where he's gone more than 500, 5 consecutive. Longest winning streak where he's gone more than 7 points in a match, 3 consecutive. On average, he takes 7.4 points at home and 9.4 points on the road. And then his opponent, Welch Bradish, covered him last week and covered him again today. He has a season record of 100 and 124 from Class D North Division 4 out of Academy Lanes. He's 3rd place in his division, 7th place in the wild card. All right, we're getting started here. Once again, Welch Bradish takes 4 down. Andy misses the head pin, but he takes 7 down. Greg on the pocket, a little full, leaves 2. Klempa misses the object, but will he steal it? He steals a spare. It's 29 through 3 for Andy Klempa. Welch Bradish looking at an 8, 9, or 10 box. And Vellante will make it worth the wait for a 10 box for 30 through 3. Let's watch that steal of a spare by Andy Klempa meanwhile. Beautiful. Use this left side sidewall. I'm sure that wasn't his intent, but it was just the way the pin had leverage to cut forward. And that's, you get the advantage when you throw a ball that as hard as Andy does. Definitely one of the faster bowlers in the Candlepin world right now. Welch Bradish takes 8 down. Andy Klempa on the head pin. 6-7 leaves, 6 falls down. It's a 9 fill on the spare. Just the 7 for Andy Klempa. He's at 38 through 3. Vellante on a 2-pin spare shot. He takes it. Andy Klempa looking on a single pin spare opportunity here. Ooh. Ball bounces and it takes a trip and doesn't collide with the pin. Up on the 7 for a 10. Misses it again for a 9. 47 through 4. Here's Welch Bradysh's spare in case you missed it. Here's Greg O with a 2 fill on the spare. Easy come, easy go. Left side half Worcester. Klempa starts off with a 3 drop. It becomes a 4 drop. Vellante, second ball goes where the first ball went. Still 2 down. Klempa a little full in the head pin. Vellante, oof, that's going to be a 2 box. 44 through 5 for Greg Vellante. Klempa looking to clean up. He will for a 10 for 57 through 5. And those scores are confirmed. It's 57 through 5 for Andy Klempa, 44 through 5 for Greg Vellante. That's a halftime total of 290 for Andy Klempa and a 270 halftime total for Greg Vellante. Coming up next, Scott Bradish and Mark Welch. Scott Bradish almost opens up with a strike, a 9 drop. Welch has a 2-7-10 puzzle to figure out. Bradish just misses the 10 narrowly to the right. And Welch, he'll miss his object. Bradish with a 10, he'll get it on the retry. The 2-10 for Welch. He'll, almost get it, but he'll take a 9. Scott Bradish at home is 68-30, 39-73 on the road. He'll drop 5 here. Welch, Mark Welch on the 1-2 pocket, drops 7. 3-5-6. Looks like the ball return is out to lunch once again, apparently.
Yeah.
We're going to DC and then we're going to Florida. Taking the kids to yeah.
That'll be fun.
It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. I'll see you later.
All right, sorry for the delay there. The balls are back, and the bowling is back. 9 for Scott Bradish, as Welch takes an 8 for 17 through 2. There's a spare for Mark Welch. Play that again in just a moment. All right, sorry, I was just getting a couple things caught up in the score. That was a right side 4 horseman for Mark Welch. 1-3-6-10. All over it. Here's Scott Bradish almost with a strike. Takes 9 down. A miss to the left of the head pin for Mark Welch results in a 7 fill with the head pin intact. Spare for Scott Bradish on the single on the 10 pin. Mark Welch, he'll take it as well. Nicely done. $44 and a bonus for Welch. $34 and a bonus for Bradish. Bradish with a strike on spare. And Welch will wash out a few. 5 to be exact on the fill. Welch tries to pull it, pull the ripcord. He leaves all but 1 pin. That's 54 and a bonus for Scott Bradish with that strike. Welch is looking to clean up. He'll be a 9. So that's 54 and a bonus for Brady and 58 through 5 for Mark Welch. Halftime totals, 246 for Mark Welch, 258 for Scott Bradish, 290 Andy Klempa, 270 Greg Vellante. Those are your halftime scores as we go into the second half of this match. On the ACST here at Haverhill, Massachusetts at Academy Lanes. Up next here, Andy Klempa first, and then Greg Vellante to finish off game 3 of 5. Klempa first. To the left of the head pin, he takes 6 down, he takes 7 down. Will he take 8 down? Can I get 9? No, just 8. Greg Vellante to the left of the head pin, just chops out the 4. Klempa, no spare, misses the head pin, leaves the head pin. Vellante on a 1 drop on the 4 pin, on the 1-2 pocket, leaves the 5-10. 5 is wiggling. Klempa with a 9 or a 10 here. It's a 10. 67 through 6 for Andy Klempa. Greg Vellante will take an 8 for 52 through 6. 4 boxes to go. Thank you, Mark Welch, for retrieving the wayward bowling ball. Klempa first on the 1-2 pocket. Mixes 7, 6, 9, 10. Vellante, 1-3 pocket. 6. 2, 5, 7, 8. Klempa for the spare. He'll take the spare. He's got it. It's the 2, 5, 7, 8 for Greg. Can he take his? No, the wood was just a little bit too much to the left. Couldn't quite helicopter backwards. It'll be a 7 for Greg for 59 through 7. Here's that 6, 9, 10 spare by Andy Klempa once again. And he's working on that spare now. 77 and 1. And 1, and that's not in the good way. 78 through 7 for Andy Klempa. Greg Vellante with a 5 drop. Caleri right side. 1, 3, 6, 8, 10. Klempa will chop a few more out. He's got 4 in the middle and 2 on the left. Greg Vellante will run down the 4 horsemen, but he won't take the sleeper. The messenger is coming to the 8, but I have a feeling it's not going to do much with it, and it won't. Klempa will chop 2 and leave 4 for 6. And that will be a nice 10 box for Greg Vellante. 69 through 8 for Greg Vellante, 84 through 8 for Andy Klempa. Klempa drops 9. Do have 1 score correction for Mark Welch. He's 57 through 5, according to down there. So I will correct it to match theirs. Greg Vellante will take an 8 drop and a split. Andy, hey, he steals the spare. Doesn't hit it direct, but hey, you get it any way you can get it. And Vellante will take his as well. Ooh, and Andy, another one fill on the spare. On the 6-pin. Previous one fill was on the 10-pin. Here's Greg on a spare fill. Missed the head pin as well, but he takes 5 off of it. 84 through 9. Klempa looking for some redemption here. He leaves the 3-4-7. Vellante. Nothing. Andy Klempa will make it a 7 box for 102 in the 10th. Greg Vellante will make it an 8 box for 92 in the 10th. So that's the end of game 3. It's 335 for Andy Klempa, 318 for Greg Vellante. The 102 and the 92 is confirmed. That's the situation as of right now. Now back to Scott Bradish and Mark Welch in this doubleheader today on the ACST. Here's Mark Welch. And he'll mix down 6 to start off. And Scott Bradish is on a strike fill. On 1-3 pocket, he'll drop 4 so far. Five, excuse me. There's a spare for Welch. Oh, and that will be a 5 fill for Scott Bradish. And Bradish just nudges the object and leaves the 5-7-10 for a 7 box.
Oh, that's right, 'cause you're doing both. Bailey, let's go. Yes, you do.
Here's Mark Welch with a 1 drop and a 1 fill. And a Caleri for Scott Bradish all the while. Welch to the left of the pocket, Bradish on the pocket. No mark for either bowler. They both have 3 pins standing. Welch 7, Bradish 8. Mr. Mark Welch with a 5 drop. Right side 4 horsemen, a sleeper. Bradish pounds the pocket a little full. Takes 7, 4, 6, 8. Welsh, almost a pretty spare, leaves the 10. And Bradish, he'll leave the 4-6. No mark for either bowler here. Mark Welsh with a 9. Bradish with the 9. That puts Mark Welch at 84 through 8 and 83 through 8 for Scott Bradish. Scott Bradish, 287 in the total. Mark Welch, 272 in the total. Welch takes 7 down. Bradish to the right of the head pin. 3 go down. Welsh on the triangle. Everything but the 5 goes. On the pocket, just a matter of angles. And Bradish misses his object. Will he steal it? Everything but the head pin goes. Welch will take a 9. Bradish will take a 9. 93 through 9 for Mark Welch. 92 through 9 for Scott Bradish. Welsh, 1, 8, 9, 10. 6 drop. Bradish with a 7 drop. 5, 6, 10. And Welch will take the 8. And Bradish, it'll be also no mark. 1-9-10 for Mark Welch. Ends up being a 7. He takes a 100 third game for a 3-game total of 288. Bradish will take a 9 for a 101 for a 3-game total of 305. That is the end of game 3. And just double checking the scores. They appear to be correct. Yes, we do have them. So these are your results at the end of game 3. And we'll be moving on here to game 4 here on the ACST at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Steve Kelly on the call. Great to have you along today. Coming up next is Greg Vellante and Andy Klempa. Greg Vellante will fire first. Klempa takes 9 down. And Vellante on the pocket. Will he steal it? Come on. Yeah. A stolen spare for Greg Vellante. Not really stolen per se, but you get the idea. Just took a little while. Andy Klempa with a spinning piece of wood, but is too far away from the 7 for a Dino Dellis style conversion. Klempa with the 10. He's got it. Here's Greg Vellante's spare. He hit the center diamond and the 4 and the 2. The 2 was the question mark, but it did go eventually. Greg Vellante, he's working on a spare fill. This room got really quiet. All of a sudden, this room is emptied out. 9 fill for Greg Vellante. Andy Klempa will take 6 down. Left side inverted check mark. Greg Vellante versus the 7-pin. Yeah, we had a league and open bowling going on all around us, and it seems to have all emptied out since then. Greg for the spare with take it via the wood. Here's Klempa with his check mark spare shot. He hits the 5. And Klempa makes it a 10. 20 through 2. Here is Greg Vellante on his spare shot, and he played the wood. Watch the way the ball moves on the cap. All right, is Greg Vellante coming up next here. Working on a spare fill once again. Spare fill is on the head pin. Can he break up the split? He can't. 7 fill. Andy Klempa with a 7 drop of his own. 3-7-8 for Andy Klempa. 6-8-10 for Greg Vellante. The rumble of the ball return is our only audio. Vellante into the void. No third mark. Klempa's got the 3-7-8. Plays the 3. And nothing goes back to the 7 and 8. And Vellante makes it a 9, 45 through 3. Andy, nice pretty 10 box for Andy. 30 through 3 for Klempa. Here comes Greg Vellante. Finds the pocket again. 3rd one in a row. And almost a strike. The last pin moves a little. Klempa's got the T-bone. A 6 drop. Oh, a 7 drop eventually. 5 pin kind of got slid a bit. 9 pin fell eventually. Greg Vellante for a spare. It's gone. See ya. 55 and a bonus through 4. Klempa, everything but the 5 goes. Nine or 10 for Klempa. Ends up being a 9, 39 through 4. Here's a Vellante spare, in case you missed it. Played it direct. That's just a clearing ball. Not a zero fill. Here's Greg Vellante on the pocket. Big fill and a 9 fill. 64 through 4. 4 drop for Andy Klempa. This is a very different Greg Vellante from last week, where he was having a lot of struggles in the green room at Academy. He'll take another spare. That's a big half for Greg Vellante. 74 and a bonus through 5. Andy into the void. Klempa again on the retry on the pocket, but he'll take an 8 box for 47 through 5. Andy Klempa 3.5 games in, 382, 392 and counting for Greg Vellante, 3.5 games in. He's at 74 half and a bonus with 4 marks for 5, 4 for 5 in the head pin. Andy Klempa 3 for 5 in the head pin, 1 split, 47 through 5. Scott Bradish wasting no time, drops 8. And that's a spare for Scott Bradish, a nice pickup. Welch misses to the right on the first ball. Second ball is a slight correction. He leaves the 1 and the 2. Mixes down everything but the 1 and the 2. 2 is wiggling. And he'll take a 9. Here's Bradish's spare, or a clean shot on the 6-10. Some pocket practice there. There it goes. Bradish misses the head pin, but he takes 6 down. Welch takes another 1 drop on the 10. Bradish takes 2, leaves the 1 and the 7. Welch chops only the 2. Yikes. It's a 9 for Bradish. 25 through 2. Welch. Ugh. It's an ugly 5 box. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 14 through 2 for Welch, 25 through 2 for Bradish. Scott Bradish, yikes, on the pocket, but doesn't get much for it. 4 drop in the split. Mark Welch finds the pocket, takes 9 down. Wants that 7 to cooperate, but it won't. Bradish, diamond right, takes 2 with the right diamond, 2 left, 2 right. The whack-whacks. 4, 6, 7, 9. Welch for the spare, he's got it. Plays the wood. Eight box for Bradish. Oops. That's not what I meant to click. I meant to click the replay. Here's the replay for Mark Welch's spare, if I can speed it up here, because I know Scott Bradish is a quick bowler. Oh, he's already starting. Okay, he misses the headpin to the left. He drops 7. At the end of this match, I'll do a highlight reel of all the replays. There's a strike on spare for Mark Welch. 44 and a bonus for Welch. Bradish, 9. All right, here's a nice mark by Mark Welch. Oops, if I can click the right thing. Again, highlight reel at the end of the match, so I do save these replays, and I'll queue them all up to play all in a row uninterrupted. That'll give us some more time to digest them all. There's a 9 drop for Mr. Bradish. Welch is working on a strike. He finds the 1-2 pocket. He takes 4 on the fill so far. There's a spare for Bradish on the single. And Welch will take a 7 on the strike fill for 51 through 4. It's 52 and a bonus for Scott Bradish. Welch will finish up with an 8 box for 59 through 5. 3.5 games in, 347 for Mark Welch, 357 for Scott Bradish, 59.5 for Mark Welch, and 52.5 for Scott Bradish. When we come back, it's Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante here on the ACST at Academy Lanes in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And here we are, Andy Klempa first. He'll take 4 down, 6-pack right side. It's Greg Vellante. A spare fill. 5 go down, and it's a 5 fill. Oh, but Greg Vellante figures it out. Now that makes it interesting. And he makes it an 8 box. 89 a bonus through 6 for Greg Vellante. He's on this mark tear that he just can't be stopped at this point. Andy Klempa's at 55 through 6. Andy Klempa begins with a 1 drop on the 6 pin. Greg Vellante on a spare fill. Takes 6 down. That's another 6 to add to his spare fill count. 2, 4, 7, 10 for Greg Vellante. Andy Klempa looking to spare up a 1 drop. He'll take a few more out, but he'll leave 4 standing. Vellante, let's see if he can make this a pretty spare. Oh, played the object. Took the 3 on the left, but he got no mark here. Leaves the 10. He's over 100 through 7. Klempa with an 8. No marks for Andy Klempa. This might hurt in the total if he can't get something figured out in the last 3 to bolster his defenses against Greg Vellante here. And it'll be a 9 for Greg for 104 through 7. Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante duking it out. Andy with a 6 drop. 4 horsemen left side. Greg Vellante 1-3 pocket. Ooh, that's a split. 4 drop splits seems to be the name of the game today. Klempa takes 2 off the middle of the 4 horsemen. 1-7. Greg will take 2 and leave 4. The https:// for Greg Vellante. The forward slashes. Andy Klempa takes an 8. Klempa takes a 6. 71 through 8 for Klempa. 110 through 8 for Greg Vellante. I think you're going to have to score correct that. They were on it. It's good. Andy Klempa holds on to it a little bit too long. Drops 2. 6 and the 4 and the 8 taken out. Greg Vellante takes 7 down with a split, maybe another. He'll take an 8. Drop. 5-6. Up on the 1-3 pocket, leaves the 2-6-7. No mark. Vellante could use the wood to take the 5-6 here. Does it go? Oh, yeah. Wow, that was a unorthodox way to take that. Off the caps. With the ball rolled into the 5. Klempa will make it a 9 box. Look at this. Greg Vellante, 120 and a bonus through 9. Well done. So Greg Vellante's performance in this game, combined with Andy Klempa's issue with finding marks this game, that's going to mean big for the grand total pinfall. Suddenly swinging in Greg Vellante's favor as he takes on his spare fill. 4. Klempa, ooh, sails into the channel. Or not the channel, the void. Where the 3-9 stood. Vellante misses his spare. He'll have a 5 mark game though. Klempa will take 2 and he'll leave 6 for a 4 box. That will be a 5 for Greg Vellante. 84 for Andy, 129 I think for Greg Vellante should be the, yes, that is confirmed. 447 for Greg Vellante, 4 games in, 419 for Andy Klempa, 4 games in. Coming up next is Scott Bradish and Mark Welch. Welch drops 9, leaving the 7. It's a delayed 9 drop for Scott Bradish. Hit a 9 fill. 61 through 5. Welch for the spare. Everything. Well, he played the wood. Went for the 7. Nothing collided with it. Bradish has rolling wood. He's just waiting on settling. Bradish will take a 9, or miss a spare shot, sorry. Welsh for the 10, he got it. Bradish for the 10, he's got it. 69 through 6 for Welch, 71 through 6 for Scott Bradish. Scott Bradish is a former TV bowler. He's the owner of All Star Pest Control in Haverhill, Massachusetts. He has a website, allstarpestco.com, also on Facebook. Six drop for Mark Welch. Scott Bradish will take 5 down and a split. Spread equal minus the 2. 1, 2, 4, 7 for Welch. As he fires on the head pin and gets only the head pin off of it. No mark for either bowler. Yes. Scott Bradish, I was waiting on the pin action there. I was hoping it would have made a liar out of me, but it did not. Mark Welch makes it a 9 and a 10 for Scott Bradish. That should be 78 through 7 for Mark Welch and 81 through 7 for Scott Bradish. Mark Welch is on the pocket. Takes 7 down. Bradish is on the pocket and he takes a strike down. $91 and a bonus through 8. Welsh looking to get a pretty spare. He almost does. Leaves the 10. $9 or 10 for Welch. It's a 9. So Watch this strike again by Mr. Scott Bradish. And we're back. Mark Welch will take down 9. Bradish on the pocket for a double. He takes 8 down. Welch gets deflected completely off the wood. He can't believe it. I can't believe it. It'll be a 9. Bill on the strike for Scott Bradish. 100 through 8. 87 through 8 for Mark Welch. 9 for Welch. 9 for Bradish. 96 through 9 for Welch. 96 through 9 for Scott Bradish. Scott Bradish in the lead in points and grand total pinfall. Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante are more deadlocked, but Greg Vellante has the grand total pinfall thanks to this 4th game. 6 drop for Welch. And a 3 drop for Mr. Bradish. Almost a spare for Welch. Again, the 5-pin. He's just getting these spares that just won't go for him. Bradish will take an 8. And Welch will take a 9. And those scores are confirmed. 105 for Mark Welch, 4-game total of 393. Scott Bradish, 422, 4-game total. That's the end of the 4th game. It's 8 points for Scott Bradish. Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante are deadlocked at 4 apiece so far. When we come back, Game 5 will begin. Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante are coming up next here on the ACST. Bear with me 1 second. Five drop for Vellante. 6 drop for Klempa. And Vellante will take 1 and leave 4. Klempa's got 2 on the left and 2 on the right. He'll take out the 6 and leave the 3, 4, 7. The 1, 2, 5, 8 for Greg Vellante. Leaves 1 for a 9. Klempa takes 2 and leaves 1 for a 9 to start out Game 5. Greg Vellante will take down 7 and split 7. Andy Klempa on the head pin as well takes down 8. Greg. Nice spare by Greg Vellante. Andy off into the right. And he'll clean up for a 10. Greg will take 4 down on his spare fill, 6-pack right side. And Klempa will take 7 down. Vellante in the 6-pack, it goes nowhere. Klempa spares his leave of the 2, 4, 7. 29 to bonus through 3. There'll be an 8 box for Greg Vellante, 31 through 3. Vellante drops 5. Klempa takes 3 on his spare fill. Vellante will take a couple off and leave the 3 and the 6. Klempa's got a 3 drop, 6 pack right side and the 7. He'll bean the head pin a little full and leave the 6-7. Vellante makes it a 9. 40 through 4. Klempa on the 6-7 for a 10 box. It's going to be a 9. Oh, Greg Vellante will chop 2 on a spread eagle, 1-5. Klempa to the left of the head pin. Almost gets a domino strike, but he leaves the 4 and the 7. 8 drop. Greg will take out the 10 and only the 10. Klempa will spare his. It's going to be a 3 box for Greg Vellante. 43 through 5. Andy Klempa, 51 in a bonus through 5. 4.5 games in. Andy Klempa's at 470, and it's 490 for Greg Vellante. Andy Klempa could be able to take the grand total pinfall if he can get this last half figured out. Nine drop for Bradish. And a 9 drop for Welch. Bradish takes his. Welch on the 6. Can he match? Oh, just a little bit off to the right. Be a 9 for Welch. Bradish gets his spare. He's already going. Oh, and Bradish will take a 4 fill and a spread eagle split. Mark Welch goes into the left side channel. Bradish takes the left wing of the eagle first. Welch will take the 10. It'll be an 8 box for Scott Bradish, leaving the 6 and the 10 for 22 through 2. And Welch in the 1-3 pocket. He takes the everything but the 2, 4, 5 for a 7 box for 16 through 2. Here's Bradish. 7 drop, 4, 6, 2, 3. Mark Welch with a 5 drop split on the head pin. 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. 3, 4, 6 for Bradish. He'll take the 3 and the 6 and leave the 4. Welch takes 3 on the right and 2 on the left. There's a nice spare. And a 10 for Bradish. See if I'm quick enough to show you this. Look at that. That shot right there. That was a nice one. Here's Bradish. Finds the head pin, and he'll mix down 9. 7 pin. Stands tall. It's a 5 drop and a 5 fill for Mark Welch. And the wood deflects the ball away for Scott Bradish from his spare. Mark Welch Ooh, gets deflected off the wood similarly. It's a 9 for Bradish. 41 through 4. Welch for a 9. He's got it. 40 through 4 for Welch. 41 through 4 for Bradish. Scott Bradish will take a right side half Worcester. 3-9. Welch drops 5. Bradish no spare. Leaves the 6-7. Welch no spare either. 8, 9, or 10, starting with Bradish. And 5 or higher for Mark Welch. He'll be a 9 for Bradish. 50 through 5. Welch with an 8. 48 through 5. 4.5 games in. 441 total Mark Welch. 472 total Scott Bradish. 48 half for Mark Welch and 50 through 5 for Scott Bradish. And we're now approaching the final 5 boxes. Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante coming up next here on the ACST. Klempa mixes down on a fill, 7. 58 through 5. Vellante, that ball goes nowhere. Klempa 3-7-9. Hits the 3 and nothing else happens. Vellante finds the pocket on the second ball. He's got the 6 and the 10 for a 10 box that he's working on. Klempa with the 9 box. 67 through 6. Vellante, 8, 9, or 10. It's going to be an 8. 51 through 6. Greg Vellante recently faced Lane Britton in round 16 with 2 points, 466 series, 84, 100, 94, 91, and a 97. With 1 strike, 5 spares, 14 tens. Here's Klempa with a 9 drop. Greg Vellante takes 6 down. Klempa misses the 7 just to the left. Vellante misses the head pin to the left as well, and no wood does anything for him. Now he's got a piece of wood in front of the head pin. Klempa will take a 9. 76 through 7. Vellante will take a 6 box. Klempa 76 through 7. Vellante 57 through 7. Mark Welch is just removing a piece of wood down there. Andy Klempa takes an 8 drop, missed the head pin, leaves the 1 and the 8. Greg Vellante, 1-3 pocket. Everything but the 5 pin, the 9 drop, king pin standing. Klempa misses the object. Vellante can capitalize with the spare shot. If you look at the grand total pinfall, they're close. And it's a spare for Greg Vellante. And he takes a 9 for 85 through 8. Klempa on the 1-3 pocket. He mixes 7 down. 2-4-6. Greg Vellante on a spare fill. 1-3 pocket. 6 go down. 73 through 8. 4, 8, 9, 10. Klempa will take 2 of 3, missing the object. 4, 8, 9, 10 for Greg Vellante for the spare. Almost does. Leaves the 10. Andy will take a 9. 94 through 9. Greg will take a 10. 83 through 9. This is Klempa's last stand. He's at 513. Greg Vellante's at 530. We have 1 box to go. The point differentials are very close between these two bowlers. Andy on the 1-2 pocket. He'll start with a 7-10 split with Wood. Greg, 1-3 pocket. Everything but the 6. A nice break. Klempa needs the spare. Oh, it goes, yeah. .104 and Greg Vellante will spare as well. They're deadlocked. I think that will be the total at this point for Greg Vellante, though. It's 523 for Andy Klempa. He can get to 533 with a strike, but Greg Vellante has it no matter what, 540 and counting. So Greg Vellante has the total. Klempa will finish with a 7 drop, 111, 7 fill, and 1-3 pocket shot and a 7 fill for Greg Vellante as well for a 100 for a 547 5-game total for Greg Vellante and a 535 game total for Andy Klempa. So it'll be 6 points for Andy Klempa, 8 points for Greg Vellante. Now the final 5 boxes of this match today. I want to thank you for watching, and thank you for bearing with us on some of the technical things going on, technical, mechanical. You know, it's bowling. It happens. I always thank you for sticking through it with me anyway. Here's Mark Welch on a 3 drop. Leaves the 1 and the 10. Bradish misses a spare. Class C treasurer for the ACST is Anthony Karen. Class D treasurer is Nate Lees. Our ACST commissioner is Danny Finn. Thank you for watching, and our community members, thank you for watching as well, making this match possible. Statistician Micah Imparato, the DeBurrow family, and the staff at Academy Lanes, as always. Viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this match today. Drop for Welch. 6 drop for Bradish. Welch misses a spare. Bradish misses the object on his spare. It's a 6 for Welch and a 9 for Bradish. Here's Mark Welch. He'll take 3 out, and there's a strike for Scott Bradish. Well done. Welch will shave off some off the left side after starting on the right side in the first ball. He'll make it a 10. Let's watch that strike by Scott Bradish all the while, though. 1-2. A 1-2 pocket strike. 78 and a bonus for Bradish. 74 through 8 for Mark Welch. Mark Welch will lead off first. Takes 6 down. Bradish on a strike. 1-3 pocket. Takes 6 down. Splits 6. 4, 5, 8, 10. Welch will take 2 and leave 2. And that'll be a 6 on the strike fill for Bradish. 84 through 8. Welch will take a 9. Bradish will take an 8. Now 83 through 9 for Mark Welch and 92 through 9 for Scott Bradish. I think. Putting on the score correction. There we go. Mark Welch chops 2, left side half Worcester. Bradish finds the pocket. 6, 7, 10 leave. Welch will chop the 4, 3 are down. Bradish takes 2 on the right and leaves 1 on the left. Welch 7 box. 10 for Bradish. That is ball game, folks. So it's 483 for Mark Welch, 5 games done. 524 for Scott Bradish today. It's going to be a 14-point sweep for Scott Bradish. In particular, Andy Klempa and Greg Vellante will be a little bit more even. Andy Klempa will take 6. Greg Vellante will take 8. And that is the story of the match today. This doubleheader match, Class C and D North today. So for everyone here, Andy Klempa, Greg Vellante, Mark Welch, and Scott Bradish, I've been Steve Kelly. It's been great broadcasting this for you today. Coming up next, I'll start a second stream for this. I think I'll be streaming Mark Poirier and Chaz Gallant. We'll see if I can find them in the building if they're here. So stay tuned if that match ends up being streamed. We'll be right back with that. But anyways, stay tuned for the highlight reel. I'll cue that up as well. Anyways, have a great one, everybody. And Greg Vellante with, will it be a late falling strike? Not quite. He'll take 9 down, but Andy Klempa will start. We'll replay in just a moment here. And that will be a spare. 6 drop for Welch. 2-4 leave for Bradish. He'll steal the spare. 20 in a bonus through 2. And Mark Welch, similar story. Greg takes a spare on the wood. Klempa clocks in with a spare. Klempa clocks in with a spare. Easy does it on that one. And so does. And Andy, there's a mark. Well done. 2 pocket. Misses it. But Andy Klempa with a double spare. 6. Andy with a triple spare. Greg's on the 1-7 for a spare. And he takes that spare. Nicely executed. It's a 7 drop for Scott Bradish. 1-2-10. Mark Welch with a 3 drop spread eagle split. And that's a spare for Scott. Mark Welch finds the head pin, takes 8 down. He's got the 4 and the 10. Bradish, double spare. Middle row, don't go down. And wow, look at that spare. That was a cool spare by Mark Welch. Vellante's working on a mark. Finds the pocket. There we go. There's a strike for Greg Vellante. It's the rare case of a split despite missing the head pin. Greg Vellante for the double strike. He's got a... Andy with the spare. Klempa takes a spare, a nice, and the 10. The 9 is untouched. That's a spare for Bradish on the single. And Welch will take a pretty spare. We'll start with Mark Welch. With a strike. Pull the ripcord. Bradish will mix down a few. 4 to be exact. 6-pack right side. And he spares that as well. Vellante with a spare. Nice way to Greg on the pocket. A little full. Leaves 2. Klempa misses the object, but will he steal it? He steals a spare. Falls down. It's a 9 fill on the spare. Just the 7 for Andy Klempa. He's at 38 through 3. Vellante on a 2-pin spare shot. He takes it. There's a spare for Mark Welch. Mark Welch results in a 7 fill with the head pin intact. Spare for Scott Bradish on the single. Mark Welch, he'll take it as well. Nicely done. Bradish with a strike on spare. 2-5, 7-8. Klempa for the spare. He'll take the spare. He's got it. Corrected to match theirs. Greg Vellante will take an 8 drop and a split. Andy, hey, he steals the spare. Way he can get it. And Vellante will take his as well. 5, excuse me. There's a spare for Welch. And Vellante on the pocket. Will he steal it? Come on. Yeah, a stolen spare. Yeah, we had a league and open bowling going on all around us, and it seems to have all emptied out since then. Greg for the spare. With take it. 5-pin kind of got slid a bit. 9-pin fell eventually. Greg Vellante for a spare. Klempa. This is a very different Greg Vellante from last week, where he was having a lot of struggles in the green room at Academy. He'll take another spare. And that's a spare for Scott Bradish. He with the right diamond. 2 left, 2 right. The whack-whacks. 4, 6, 7, 9. Welch for the spare. He's got it. 7. At the end of this match, I'll do a highlight reel of all the replays. There's a strike on spare for Mark Welch. Welch is working on a strike. He finds the 1-2 pocket. He takes 4 on the fill so far. There's a spare for Bradish on the single. Oh, but Greg Vellante figures it out. Now that Vellante could use the wood to take the 5-6 here. Does it go? Oh, yeah. Wow, that was a... Mark Welch is on the pocket. Takes 7 down. Bradish is on the pocket, and he takes a strike down. Greg. Nice spare by Greg Vellante. Klempa spares his. Leave of the 2. Greg will take out the 10 and only the 10. Klempa will spare his. And a 9 drop for Welch. Bradish takes his. Welch takes 3 on the right and 2 on the left. If you look at the grand total pinfall, they're close. And it's a spare for Greg Vellante. Klempa needs the spare. Oh, it goes, yeah. 104 and Greg Vellante will spare as well. They're deadlocked. Here's Mark Welch. He'll take 3 out, and there's a strike for Scott Bradish. Well done.